All right, guys, get going. Call to order the September Remac meeting. If I can get a motion for approval of the May minutes. Motion. Second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. CA reports. John.
So we, Donna and I were just at the state meetings last week in Troy. There was many protocol changes proposed. The document was sent out to the physicians in the group for their review. The changes are not set to go into play until the commissioner signs off on it. So we suspect that probably around the first of the year, give or take. So if the physicians review that and they have any questions, I can attempt to answer the reasoning behind it. Our conference is in full swing. The dates will be February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The 22nd will be a half-day conference. There's going to be a BLS track and a critical care transport track. We have very dynamic speakers from across the region and across the eastern half of the country. Some from outside the states. So there's various subject matters going on, and all that will be ready for distribution here in probably a few months. Dr. Lick had sent out a request for interested parties for the quality committee that he's trying to establish. We've gotten a few responses back. So if anyone's interested, we're looking to have a mixture of individuals in the committee, any registered nurses, any physicians that may or may not be interested, mid-levels, paramedics, basics. We want a diverse group of folks to review the charts. And it's still ongoing. Dr. Wood has not been able to be contacted recently, so or for the last several weeks. So I've been unable to follow up. So more to come.
John, in terms of that committee, how does that attempt to be different than the QC, QA process here? I guess what's the difference in form and function?
This will take over that process. So this is a new process being established. The goal was to do, like 50% quality review, 50%, case review or QA program review type thing. So we're really Scott's attempt to kind of redirect the focus a little bit and make it an ongoing, de-evaluate whether it is or, and if any potential issues are detected, working with the agency medical director or refer to the state for further investigation. The other piece of it was to help guide continuing education as well. So they detect any kind of, while folks just aren't putting oxygen on, let's do some sort of oxygen therapy, CME essentially. So that was the initial thought that we had behind it.
What's the referral source of these PA cases?
Well, it would be cases from the region, so from already quality services. Each service is supposed to have a quality program within their service. Some do a good job in it, others really don't do anything. And then, you know, the hope is to improve patient care. You know, that's what the ultimate goal is towards this type of program.
Has he decided on a structure yet? So you're like Remac meetings or?
Because in talking to some of the nursing team and others that think about roping into this, that's the first question is when is this going to be, when's it going to meet, et cetera. And
So it would, yeah.
in talking through recruits, we got to.
Right. So in preliminary discussions, it was going to meet similarly to the Remac structure, so every other month. And whether it's before or after this meeting hasn't been determined yet. That was the initial thought. We don't feel it's necessary to do it any more frequently than that. Could even be quarterly if necessary, you know, unless there's more stuff there.
And the second question I've gotten is there going to be an online option or is it always going to be an in-person? So these are, I mean, just a lot of the practicality questions.
So I think
folks are having to get involved. But
quality, it would have to be in person, quite frankly, just because you can't control what the audience is if it's online.
our legal team's been perfectly comfortable with those. I mean, we just have to account for everybody who's signed in. We can't have, we identify all random numbers and things like that. I just,
Sure.
that's going to open up opportunities.
Yeah,
So.
and we haven't gotten that far yet, to be honest.
John, I thought there was a talk of the regional advisory about every agency having a QA process.
Well, they are required. The state is actually making some quality metrics for agencies that have to meet.
Are we ensuring that they're following it?
Well, no, we're not sure that anybody's following the programs currently. And the state is still developing their process. So I'm sure there's more to come with that. Because that was a new directive in the budget. With a lot of things like quality measurement programs.
Where are we at with the regional QA initiative?
Scott seeing at the moment.
You said it's been difficult to contact him.
Oh yeah.
So if we're interested, how do we go for it?
So if you're interested, submit your interest to me.
Okay.
And then I'll compile them.
What was the purpose of the pause in the protocol changes? Is it for comment for potential edits or
Pause.
not going live?
So after CMAC's approval, then it has to go to the commissioner to be signed off on.
Okay, but no more edits or.
Correct. Not in this bunch because the medical centers has approved it, CMAC's approved it, and SEMSCO's approved it. So now it moves to the commissioner for final. That's the only pause that there would be. And then they should be implemented.
Thank you. Anything else? Done?
Just a short about classes, fall classes have started. We have an original EMT class in Canada and Berlin with 16 students. We've got a class here in Geneva with 22. We have an EMT class on with 8. We have a paramedic refresher with 6 nurses that are challenging. 2 refreshers, and we have 5 who are in 4 which we are moving to the registry. So we're starting to think about spring classes now. The other ones are all up and running.
Great. How many in the paramedic class?
22.
Very good. I am now on the agenda to read off all of these. And ask some drinks. So each one, correct? Needs some water.
Just highlighted.
All right, so these are all 10 in NYCR. This is 800.1685. Javante Osterhout for that violation. and I don't see any action here. That's it. Oh, has been surrendered. This is violation of 800.1682 with Ryan Fernandez with the Bronx. Civil penalty of $1,000. A stay providing no further violations for 3 years. This was for a censure on July 15th. This is 800.16813 Kyle Keene from Syracuse. Civil penalty of $2,100, so that was stayed and no further violations for formal reprimand and probation until May 3rd of 2026. 800.1688 Robert Ortiz of Brooklyn. He had his license surrendered effective June 1st. That's all they're on. 800.1686 Vincent Biscaglia from Selden, New York. Revoked effective May 4th. This is 800.1682 Brian Fernandez. We just heard about him from the Bronx. This is a duplicate. Civil penalty of $1,000. And similarly, this is Javante Osterhout from Albany. He's being different Remacs. And we also had his Albany, I guess, certificate surrendered August 7th. And Brian Torres from Spencer Report, 800.1681239, civil penalty of $2,000. Related to performance improvement plan and supply reports prior to August 23, 24, 25, with probation for that same time. And Francisco Garcia of Shirley, New York, for 800.1685, revoked effective June 7th.
So just to back up on my report, for those that are not aware, Soder's Town Ambulance has surrendered their CON. They have been issued a statement of deficiency from the state of New York for not responding to calls. In this case, it was almost 90 days. They had not responded to a single call. When there was many call opportunities. So they've surrendered their CON effective immediately in the county service. And Silver Waters is picking up the slack.
Very good. Mike, anything from RSI, our state committee?
Nothing this morning.
New York State here? Mercy Flight.
Couple different things this week. On Thursday, we have a ground school familiarization with new aircraft in Wayne County at the training facility. Friday, we have our education day out in Corona. You can still register for that if you want. You can send me a message. And then October 23rd, we also have an Ontario County ground school familiarization with new aircraft. If you guys want to come out and see it, there's forms over there on the table. So look at those. You can send me an email and let me know how many people you have coming.
We had a difficult pediatric case a month or two ago, and there was, I don't know if this message is accurate, but we got information that the aircraft had to come from Western because of some operational inability to put 2 people in the back of the aircraft. Is that?
You don't ever put a second person in the back, like apparently.
It was a pediatric case. I know that they had to get the helicopter from Western. I can look into it.
Yeah, we can look into that one.
Okay.
We usually, if we take parents, we put them in the front.
Okay.
So if the parent was demanding to sit in the back, that could do it. But
All right. Doug?
Concepts and Trauma Conference is October 6th down at Tigertown. So if anybody's interested, we'll continue to do ground schools as well. And feel free to reach out to our outreach department for scheduling any of those events. And that's pretty much it. I'm busy.
Just go around the room from ground agencies that want to.
Fishers is still doing BLS and ALS. We're currently looking for a new chief.
Good.
Busy, still covering a lot of mutual aid for the other agencies. Still supporting.
Pat? Tom?
Nothing new.
Status quo, still busy, short staff, phone calls, getting by.
Pat? Jeremy? Ryan? Dave?
We're in service. We have a full ALS crew, 24 hours a day, running out of 2 different stations, and myself on a flight there. And
Okay.
nothing.
Dr.
Newark, I had John send out some EMS data. You guys have that in terms of stroke metrics. Ideally, it's helpful. As always, just let me know if there's ways we can improve. James can talk about this more, but the Clifton ER has been open. From an EMS perspective, the space seems bigger. It seems like a better process, but again, if there's ways that we can improve that for you guys, just let me or James know.
Agreed, yeah. So as far as Clifton goes, yeah, we've been open for about 2 weeks now. It's definitely a little shorter walk for the teams in terms of the old path through the loading dock and through the hallways that you've been navigating for the past year. So thanks for the tolerance and the patience. Hopefully we're in a little better spot in the new ED. Very, very much still in the figuring out operations and working through kinks and changing some things here and there on the fly. So appreciating the flexibility there from the teams, but also please, definitely welcome any feedback of anything that would make getting in, getting out easier, or if there's anything we can do to smooth out transitions, etc. Beyond that, as far as Newark goes, beginning of July, I assume the role of director of the Newark ED as well, so any Newark feedback, please feel free to shoot my way as well. Dr. Michelin went back to full clinical. She's staying just, sons of college and looking to travel a little bit more and spend a little more time out of the office, so decided the full admin gig wasn't her cup of tea anymore. So that said, happy to take any feedback Newark related. We've had a couple of busy months this summer. I've been trying to get my feet wet and figure things out a little bit over there. That said, very happy to hear any feedback related to Newark because it is very much a learning process for me as well. So anything you got, send it my way.
Great, thank you. Dr. Oswald?
Really just a limited report. Status quo is vibrant. 17 orders and 24 bed EDs. I guess most pertinent here is that there intermittently has been a lot of water main work being done on West Ave. So sometimes they're shutting down certain areas of the road that we change approach and recommendations to this one. We do our best to keep full contact.
Great, thank you. I'd like to introduce the group, Dr. Sheep, AJ Sheep, who's been with us for the last couple of years. He's becoming more involved with Indiana and now with the regional a little bit. So anything from you? No, that's good. Great. I don't see any old business. Any new business? Anything else good for the group?
Just have a quick question.
Sure.
On the physician. And I know that there's still outbreak of COVID in that, but students, get that into the EDs in there. I know it was intermittent last year, but
Cool with that?
At this point, no restrictions from our end.
You have my email, right? Do you want to just email me and then we'll go forward? All right, cool.
We're continuing with all of our ADs to juggle med students, PA, and NP students, so just requires some coordination. So we try not to have too many bodies, and we've also in both Newark and Clifton, fortunately, have some new orientees, so we have a pretty busy nursing team as well. But I mean, we're happy to work them in. Just requires some coordination.
so go through you for both Clifton and Newark?
Yeah, you just email us both. If you just have one chain.
Yep. Yeah, I think I spoke with our CNO because we have so much agency nursing, and they apparently in their contracts don't necessarily aren't required to take students. So that's the only thing from the nursing aspect that would be. But I received endorsement from our nurse manager that they're certainly welcome to come and be with our own nurses.
That's kind of where we're at too.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
It seemed too easy. It seemed too easy. Yeah, exactly.
Just leave. Okay.
All right. All right. Fair enough.